The Simpsons has been on air for what seems like forever. There are 31 seasons with over 639 episodes. As a result, you kind of get to know the family pretty well, especially the main character, Homer Simpson, who is quite the character. But what would happen if he was a real human being? Then what? From causing a terrible nuclear disaster to being arrested for public intoxication and endangerment to others, I will be discussing these possibilities and more in today's video. Homer J. Simpson was born on May 12, 1956 in the town of Springfield. In his town, he is known for being not the smartest. In fact, as a result of his actions, he has caused citizens harm and put the whole town at risk on a number of different occasions. So if Homer was real today, that would make him 64 years old, which is drastically older than the 39-year-old he is in the show. Meaning, in real life, he may not have as much energy he has on the show to do these extravagant things. Maybe he would just spend his days drinking away at a local pub with some pals. I mean, by then he would be retired, so he wouldn't have to work. There's nothing else for him to do but enjoy beers and just chill out. This would probably be the best outcome, but knowing Homer, it's not gonna be that easy. In the show, Homer has said things like, beer, my one weakness, or alright brain, you don't like me and I don't like you, but let's just do this and I can get back to killing you with beer. Just highlights how reliant Homer is on his beer. And as a result, we have seen Homer be publicly intoxicated and also drink and drive. So chances are Homer would be arrested for these crimes and sent to jail. And believe me, you'd want him behind bars so he couldn't cause harm to you or the town. Because, need I remind you, he works as a safety inspector at the Springfield nuclear power plant. Now before I explain the tragedies that Homer would cause, if you're liking this video so far, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe because it really helps us out. So in the show, Homer on multiple occasions has caused a lot of deadly accidents. If he was real, chances are he would have the same job at a nuclear power plant, which would be the worst thing. He's such a careless individual. In the show, we see him fooling around at work and not taking it seriously. In one episode, he almost caused a whole nuclear meltdown, and in another episode, we see how careless he is with nuclear waste. Him and his pals are always just like chilling on storage drums labeled toxic waste. Or how about in the opening scene when he's handling a glowing green rod of uranium, and when he leaves, it falls into his clothing. Or in one episode, he used a nuclear rod as a paperweight. Yeah, so if Homer is in the real world, chances are he's gonna cause a nuclear disaster. This would then take the lives of thousands of individuals, with thousands more getting radiation poisoning. And radiation poisoning causes a slow and painful death. Not only that, but the nuclear waste would seep into the water and contaminate the soil and water supply. So all the crops in the area would be too hazardous to eat. The whole town would probably then be shut down and abandoned, all thanks to Homer Simpson. Moving on, let's talk about Homer Simpson's appearance. In the show, most of the characters have yellow skin and are oddly shaped. If he's real, does that mean he's going to look like a human version of himself? Or is he going to still look the same with the yellow skin, big bulging eyes, and zigzag hairline? Either way, he's gonna be an outcast from society. There's an artist that actually drew Homer as a human, and he looks terrifying. As sad as it might be, people are gonna be terrified of him, especially if he acts the way he does in the show. So this might cause Homer to live by himself in isolation, with fear that he will be made fun of when he goes outside. Poor Homer, he would become so depressed and lonely. Then again, that's kind of a good thing so that he doesn't kill off a bunch of people by accident. In the show, Homer has done a lot of crazy things that have negatively affected himself, his family, and the town. For example, think back to the Simpsons movie. Homer befriends a pig and stores all of the pig's waste in a silo. He then proceeds to dump the silo into the town's lake, which contaminates it all. In fact, the lake becomes so toxic that the EPA puts the whole town in a quarantine dome and then tries to blow it up. Imagine if he was this careless in real life. life, like dumping his waste anywhere, etc. The whole town would be a wreck. Not only that, but in the show he has run people over with his car, caused major car accidents, and he's even killed a bunch of people. So no one would want to go near him with fear of being accidentally killed by him. Homer has also caused extreme destruction of property, he has stolen, and even drove someone to take his own life. Now in the show, Homer doesn't get arrested for these crimes, but in the real world, he definitely would. So if that's the case, he would probably be sent to life in prison. There's no way law enforcement would let him get away with that many crimes. So, sorry Homer, life in the real world ain't gonna be too good for you. One thing Homer would for sure get arrested for though would be for mistreating his children. In the show, Homer is constantly seen choking out Bart, to the point where his tongue flops out and his eyes bulge out of his head. Yeah, that's a crime in the real world that's not gonna slide here. So he would probably get taken away from his children and then never be able to see them again. Now, so far for this list, I've just been dissing Homer, saying like how bad it would be if he was real. But honestly, let's take a look at the positives. Believe it or not, but Homer might actually be a real life genius. In the episode HOMR, which was season 12's 9th episode, Homer becomes a genius after having a crayon removed from his brain. So this whole time he was super smart, but the crayon that was lodged in his brain was limiting his potential. But he ended up reinserting the crayon in his brain at the end of the episode. But in fact, there is evidence of Homer being very clever despite having the crayon in his brain. In episodes he's built a time machine, a nuclear weapon, and even an advanced AI robot. So yeah, it may not seem like it, but Homer's a genius. Meaning if he was real, he could advance our world tremendously. Maybe Homer will be the one that discovers the cure for COVID. Who knows? So in the end, he could be a very successful man that does a lot for the world and his town. Maybe he'll go on and become a master inventor and win a Nobel Prize. I mean, in the show, Homer Simpson has won a Grammy, an Academy Award, a Pulitzer Prize, he's been to space, and he's even saved Springfield a number of times. So maybe he's gonna be famous and an icon to many. Now in the show, Homer has a big home. He's got 2 pets, 3 kids, and can afford tons of food and booze to satisfy his every need. But like, we hardly see him working. He definitely does not work 9 to 5. And we know that Marge doesn't work. So how is it that they can afford this lifestyle? Well, it's theorized that Homer is still receiving royalties from the B Sharps. For those of you who don't know, back in the day, Homer was in a barbershop quartet called the B Sharps with Barney, Apu, and Principal Skinner. Clearly, they made a lot of money on their hit album, and to this day they are still receiving residuals from it. So Homer and his pals would also be famous singers in real life if that's the case. Now, there's just one last thing I should mention. In the show, Homer is immortal. Well, duh, because it's a show. He can bleed, break bones, get hit by cars, fall off of roofs, and he'll never die. But in real life, he can't be immortal. He's very clumsy and accident prone. So I don't think Homer would make it very long in the real world. He would quickly injure himself, maybe even accidentally kill himself. Like I said before, it seems best if Homer remains fiction. He won't do too good for himself or others if he was real. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. Also, let me know the answer to this question. If you could have one fictional character be real, who would you choose? Let me know in the comments below. And now it's time for our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video top 5 ways the Simpsons predictions could still come true. Cami Tenchi commented, "Dear Life's Biggest Questions. I've been watching your channel for over 3 years and I am still watching today because you are amazing in every way. Today I ask you to notice me just once. I love you and wish the best of you all." That is actually so sweet. I love how you also were like, "Dear Life's Biggest Questions," as if you're writing like fan mail. I love that. Thank you so much. That warms my heart. We appreciate your constant love and support. Jonathan Ricketts commented, "What the hell is wrong with The Simpsons? That is one weird cartoon." I mean, I agree. Some of the things that they've predicted is a little freaky, not gonna lie. But I don't think they're psychic. I think they just got good luck, and they do the research. Felix Frost commented, "I'd move to Mars if it's safe." No thanks, I don't want to live on Mars, okay? I'd rather just live on Earth, okay? We're not gonna go to Mars. No, we're not gonna set up an economy and community or whatever up there, no. Let's just stay on Earth, let's just take care of our planet so that we don't have to live on Mars. No thank you. Alright guys, and that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Life's Biggest Questions for more thought-provoking videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and stay curious, YouTube.